What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Lesser Athletes. My name is Chadwell, and today, like always, another interesting video for you here on the channel. Today is my predictions for Stand and Deliver 2025. Wow. Stand and Deliver had no matches when I was starting to make this video. They had 2 matches, I'm pretty sure. It was, I guess, 3. I'm trying to think. They had the NXT, 3. They had the NXT Championship, the Women's NXT Championship, and then just 4 people for a qualifier. And now they have 7. 7. And I gotta be honest with you, this is a very unpredictable card. You might say, oh, it's easy to pick here. Think of how NXT's booked. There's going to be some unpredictable things going on. I have been editing my predictions for this for 3 times now, 4 times. My last prediction, which we're going to go from most predictable to least predictable in my opinion, I edited 5 times. On everything. 4 or 5 times. I don't remember which one. So, yeah, this is crazy to say, but let's get started. Talking about the D'Angelo family versus Dark State. This one to me is pretty obvious when you got to think about, what's going to happen for the future and what also has to kind of happen. So let's first talk about, how they got here. Really, it was street fight. They kind of jumped people, whatever it might be. This is a nice 3-man tag match. I have to be honest with you. I think no matter what happens, Dark State has to win. You have to make this faction look a little bit scary. So I have Dark State here. But I have to say that I think something that also could happen is a turn of the underboss. I think he could really turn on the D'Angelo family. You can kind of tell that he's kind of been pushing on himself. He could turn heel on the D'Angelo family, maybe setting up a feud for the rest of NXT for this year. Not for this year, maybe for a while. But I really believe that Dark State is going to have to win this match. But because they're on this card now, I have a few questions and concerns about a future match we'll talk about. Up next, Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page. Man, am I so happy to see this match. I thought maybe they would go the triple threat, fatal 4-way, fatal 5-way match type of thing. But granted, they had just Ethan Page versus Ricky Saints. And I'm happy with that. I like that. Now, what I do think about this is that it makes it more predictable. If it was the fatal 4-way, the triple threat, there's a bigger chance of Ricky Saints maybe losing this, but I don't think they want Ricky Saints to lose this, so I'm going to go Ricky Saints. I think that's more predictable than him potentially losing this, because I thought maybe in a triple threat he loses it and then he comes back and wins it again, but for now, I have Ricky Saints winning. Up next, Fraxium versus Hank and Tank. So I was debating on changing this, but I'm not going to. And there's a reason why. I get that they're really building up Hank and Tank. And I could really see them win it. And do I see them winning it? I don't think at Stand and Deliver. I think what we're going to see is another Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin situation last year, where it was Fraxium versus them. Everyone swore that Fraxium was going to win. But ultimately, Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin won. So then they were like, well, is Braun Breaker not going to the main roster? He drops the title and they lose the title to Fraxium next upcoming week. So I think we could see a same situation where Fraxium maybe goes to the main roster. They drop the belts to Hank and Tank, but Fraxium ultimately keeps it at Stand and Deliver. But I really do believe that it's either going to happen here or in the next 2 weeks. So if it happens here, I understand. I think it'll make sense, but I really believe that Fraxium is going to be the winner here. Up next, number 1 contender fatal 4-way elimination match. This is where we start getting to, in my opinion. I think the Fraxium match is a little unpredictable. This is where we really start getting unpredictable. So this was just thrown ahead. Roxanne and Cora in it, which really sucks to me. I think Cora should have been in the North American title match. She would have been one of my favorites. And then I think Roxanne should have been in a bigger feud than this. Whew. So here's my thought process. Tatum and Gigi, don't think's going to do it. Fatal Influence. makes a little sense. Okay. Metaphor. They seem like they're trying to push him to the main roster. Have already been on a main roster card match, which is crazy to say. Roxanne and Cora. So these two were just randomly thrown in. So then it makes me question myself on if I should pick them. But when we look at everybody else, Fatal Influence. Not really what I think is going to happen. I'm not going to choose Fatal Influence. It's really Metaphor and Roxanne and Cora for me. With Metaphor already being part of the main roster, it makes a lot of sense that they would win, have this match, then you can kind of push them more to the main roster, get them known. But for that same reason, I'm going to choose Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade because, in my opinion, maybe they are going to push Cora Jade to the main roster with Roxanne Perez. Maybe not. I mean, maybe Cora is really just staying on NXT while Roxanne goes up. But it could be a way where you have Liv Morgan and Raquel already having a match with Roxanne and Cora Jade. You have them get familiar with the main roster, and it could be a way where you kind of put them in the draft and they could be drafted together or drafted separately, whatever it might be. I feel like that's a huge possibility. It is more, honestly, what I expect than possibly Metaphor or Fatal Influence winning. That's what I kind of really want. Up next, Stephanie Vauquer versus Julia versus Jordynne Grace versus Jada Parker. I changed this right before. Let's get this out the way. Jada Parker's not winning. Jada Parker's not winning. I don't care about no emotional promo. Jada Parker's not winning to me. So then you have Julia, who just lost it and is more a heel, potentially going against Stephanie Vauquer and Jordynne Grace and winning it. Do I think Julia's going to win? I don't think so. I think the main thing is to keep Julia heel for a little bit and go against somebody else in the future. Either Stephanie Vauquer or Jordynne Grace, who has the championship. So it's really Stephanie Vauquer and Jordynne Grace. I'm just going to be honest with you. I originally had Jordynne Grace winning. I think you could have Jordynne Grace pinning Jada Parker. Stephanie Vauquer didn't get pinned. Stephanie Vauquer loses the championship. Jordynne Grace holds it for a little bit. Maybe we get a rematch here soon. Stephanie Vauquer somehow wins it again. Then I started thinking, they just made her a double champ. They just took the North American Championship off of her. They would still probably want a championship on her. Then I realized they are not going to let her lose this. There's no way they're going to let her lose this if Stephanie Vauquer just got the championship. They took a championship off of her. More than likely, to me, it means Stephanie Vauquer will win. So if that's the case, I think Jada Parker takes the pin. I think Julia and Jordynne Grace are the future to go against Stephanie Vauquer, and there's Sharks right there. I just am a little bit shocked to see this, truthfully. And I really thought for a second that Stephanie Vauquer would lose, but now I'm thinking that Stephanie Vauquer will win. But I really am. I think it's Jordynne Grace, Julia, and Stephanie Vauquer potential. I'm more on Jordynne Grace, but we'll see. Up next, Obafemi versus Trick Williams versus Javon Evans. So the one thing I was talking about Dark State earlier is now that they have a match, I'm a little bit kind of understanding that these guys won't be maybe the leader of Dark State. I know everyone thinks, is it Trick? Is it Javon Evans leader of Dark State? I think, I just hit my arm. Everyone thinks it's going to be Trick Williams. That means Trick Williams will probably stay on NXT if that's the case. I don't think that'll be the case. I think, if anything, Trick Williams really will be going up to the main roster after this feud. So, your only two winners in this match could be Obafemi and Javon Evans. Now, I'm guessing this is going to be the main event. This is a huge match. In my opinion, you could really have Javon Evans call in Dark State and be known as the leader, with him kind of turning heel against Obafemi and Trick Williams. It would be such a shock, but they could really do it. You have Javon Evans turning heel, having Dark State as the group, taking out Obafemi, Trick Williams, because it's a triple threat, and then he wins the title. That could be the shock factor of Stand and Deliver. So I originally wrote Javon Evans, but then I was thinking, if Dark State's now having a match, yes, they can ultimately have it again. Maybe it's another throw-off thing, so you don't really know. I ultimately believe that Obafemi will still have this championship because they want to keep Obafemi with this championship. I think Javon Evans is not entirely ready for a championship, but I still do believe that he could be in the future. He's really good, don't get me wrong. He's actually, in my opinion, now may surpass the North American Championship and could really go for the title. This is a huge triple threat, and I got to be honest with you, I'm going to choose Obafemi. I think more than likely Javon Evans takes a pin. I think Drake Williams goes to the main roster. That's where I'm at right now. That's what I'm thinking. I think that makes the most sense. But please, I think I'm back and forth to Javon Evans and Obafemi. This is the most unpredictable match for me. I changed this 5 times. I really did. I'll go with each one who I chose, or why each person could win. Sol Ruka. I think she's the favorite to win if it wasn't for her winning the Speed Championship. She was my original choice. I wrote her down. Then she wins the Speed Championship. I took her off. Zarya joined. Obviously, it makes sense to give the new talent a title to really make some new matches for the title. Zarya also is in this kind of in the tag duo with Sol Ruka. Could be something where she turns on Sol Ruka and Sol Ruka wins the title off Zarya later on for that feud in the future. Kalani Jordan, 2 times North American champion. I could really see it. Not really much has been happening with Kalani Jordan. She pinned Roxanne Perez to come here. It makes a lot of sense. Izzy Dame? No. Lola Vice. I think if it wasn't for her not being on NXT TV for a while and really just not being showcased, like there's just small feuds and matches she's had, I would pick her too. But there's some other names I think I'd rather have. And then Thea Hale comes back. Thea Hale gets a huge push. She squashes Carmen. A squash. I have to believe that Thea Hale is about to get a huge push. Fans are behind her. More than likely, she's going to get something. So let's go with every time I've changed it. I chose Sol Ruka first. I changed it. I chose Zarya next. Then I was thinking, would they do that already or are they going to keep it? I changed it. I chose Kalani Jordan. Does that make sense? I don't know. I chose Lola Vice. Actually, I chose Lola Vice next after Zarya. Kalani Jordan's actually won more matches and recently have won against other people. I chose Kalani Jordan. Then I go, Thea Hale just debuted again. And she squashed. She did so good. I think there's a good chance she could win to get really pushed. Let's put Thea Hale. I changed it. My prediction now is Zarya. I think that they're going to have Zarya win it. She's fierce. She's crazy. Maybe turning heel on Sol Ruka somehow, some way. Because I don't want Sol Ruka to turn heel. Zarya destroys Sol Ruka. Sol Ruka comes back, beats Zarya to win the championship against her, and it's a real meaningful match. That's where I'm at. But if I had to rank the people who I think is going to win it now, I have Zarya 1, Thea Hale 2, 3, Lola Vice, because I don't think they'll give it back to Kalani Jordan, who's going to be at 4. I have Sol Ruka before Izzy Dame, even though Sol Ruka has the Speed Championship. So that's where I'm at. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.